Again then. Right. We are back on, are we? Is now the stream not going to work? No, we are. Cool. And now I have pending invitations. Probably have about 18. Blooming game. Ah.
You had 4 seconds to signs on that last lap. At least 5 seconds to wait for that. Behind are Sainz, Hamilton and Leclerc.
Right, don't know actually what to do. Oh, I just joined. Oh. Reg, can I have another invite?
Gear 1 launch. Gear 1.
Right, one last go. Come on. Come on, Reg. Better work. It's better work this time. That was quicker. Right, that's a little bit more movement than we've had so far. Crossing my toes and all. Come on. I have a feeling Our PlayStation might be down as well. Come on. Come on. Voice chat suspended. I'm in. And we're in. Right. Nothing's... Nothing ever happened. While we're waiting, 1 minute 30 ad. Right, we're alive and we are cooking. Whew. Whew. Readying up, boys. Come on then, let's get this stream up and going then. I've got a little pre-roll ad on just while I'm waiting for the start of the session. I think I shouldn't have done a 1 minute 30 ad, but hey ho, here we go. Quick actions. No, I haven't. Is there an ad? Is there an ad going? Hello, Gen Z. We were in a lobby the other week, but we'll forget that. Cool. Not for me, but I'm unstoppable. Cool. Short quali then. So, without further ado, as we're just going to wait for the cutscene to go, we will be getting underway. I like the little overlay we have on our thingy. But yeah, so little countdown for us to get going. And then when we exit this screen and go straight into the paddock, well not the paddock, the pit lane at Qatar, that's when I can get myself back cracking. Good luck everyone that says lots of the drivers in the chat then. Obviously, no one means it. They all want everyone else to crash out and they get an easy win. But yeah, worth the wait, hopefully. It better be worth the wait after this now. But yes, here we are then. So, hello everybody and welcome back to CLR Thursday tier. You join us here today for round 11 in Qatar then. So we are at the Lusail International Circuit for round 11. And I'm back on comms, if you can't tell. We've binned off Callum for a week. He's doing something important in real life, like driving or something. But that doesn't matter, because we're virtually driving, which is so much better. And we are doing so with 14 drivers strong on this grid. Straight out comes Humph then, one of the challengers this season. He's 5th in the championship at the moment, but he has, on a Thursday tier, still tried to replicate his luck on, well no, his skill on the Friday, where he is currently leading that championship. But so far, not been the best campaign for him on a Thursday, so whether or not it's the Mercedes that is not cooking for him, or just the strength for the rest of the field. But either way, 14 drivers we have here today. Last time out's winner after penalties was this man here in the Haas, DRL Alex, who's in his first race in CLR last time out, managed to get a win. So hoping for his sake to try and keep that 100% win record alive. Qatar, you never know. I mean, it's such a good track here, because it is one, like MJB said in chat earlier on, there's not a lot of real purebred overtaking opportunities, unless you're brave enough, to make moves. So it is a case of who's got the most pace around this track, who can set the car up the nicest, who can extract that little bit more pace than those around you, especially now in this qualifying session, which is so important for the grand scheme of things over this weekend. And yes, with 14 drivers on this grid, it's going to be a cracker. So, without further ado, let's Alex, last time out's race winner on a Thursday, get us underway and cooking then. DRS activated, up towards the line now then. He's going to get started in this Grand Prix qualifying session. Into turn 1, braking late, chucking in, clipping the apex midway through the corner, so nice and simple from the Haas driver. Through turn 2, pretty much just a couple of hairpin corners here. 3 is just a very simple, straight, flat out kink. And then into 4 and 5, the double right-hander, really straining the front end of that car there, really fighting against any sort of tailwind. Purple in Sector 1, only man to do so far, so to be expected. But as he now rises up towards turn 7, looks to be like a hairpin, but then absolutely flies back to the left and then to the right again. It's a winding section, but that Haas is absolutely navigating it without too many complaints at the hands of Alex then. So as he now goes towards 12, 13, 14 complex, the corners where flat out is the way through. Looks to be like he's going flat out all the way through already on his first lap. He's not setting a banker. He's not here to play. Through 15, the first left of that little complex, and then up towards the final corner of this Grand Prix lap. It's DRL Alex to set our first lap time in this session. What time's it going to be? To the line, it's a 1:21.944, so looking very strong. Alana next up. Can he beat that lap time in the Sauber? No, he cannot. Neither can Hunt. Jens with a P2 currently joins Alex in the 1:21.9s, but unable to beat him by 0.04 of a second. 21 and Max. So it's an Alpine 2-3 as it stands. Still lots of drivers yet to set the lap times in this session, so it's exciting to see how competitive this Grand Prix is going to be just through Quali's pace alone. Up to the line then, Babber in the McLaren P3 splits the Alpine boys with Jens, the Great Dane, leading the 2. Looks to me then, top 7 already setting their lap times. Who's up next? Is it the Aston or is it the second McLaren? It's the Aston Martin of Enrico Kirikiri, who's going to try and set a push lap. He's on non-ERS, so it doesn't look to me like he's pushing. Captain or Hobnob goes by 2 names in this league. Purple in Sector 1 whilst being on medium ERS then, so you can tell that this McLaren is dialed in and ready, similar to real life around Qatar. But at the hands of Hobnob, he is not hanging about. He's not going to let this qualifying session crumble before him. He is going to fly all the way through. So as we go towards the end of Sector 2, sees where he is. He's purple Sectors 1 and 2 then. So purple Sector 3 would absolutely set him into the fastest of the lap times. Can he try and keep it consistent all the way through, up towards now the final corner, which will then, as you open up the steering and get that foot down on the accelerator, DRS as well being activated now, up to the line. Can Hobnob beat the time? Yes, he can, as Alex is wheeled away. Captain is here to play as he's got 1:21.7, so pips them by just under 0.2 of a second then. So Hobnob looking really, really strong in that McLaren. Lots of drivers still yet to set their lap times, and not just any drivers. You've got the CLR Ultras, if you like. You've got Bjorn Quint, also known as Race Brower, who is next up to cross the line. We will watch on board with that lap time. The 3-time reigning world champion on a Thursday tier is George Gamer, who has yet to set a lap time as well. So our 2 reigning champs of last season in both tiers have yet to set a lap time in this session, so watch this space. There's still plenty of time left, 11 minutes and 44 seconds to be precise. Reggie, the teammate of George, and the 2 Williams boys are going to try and tow each other to the top of the timesheets. MJB as well, going to set his lap time now. I'm sure he's in a VC with Bjorn, as expected, but with Bjorn flying as it stands, purple in Sector 1, the Sauber driver wants this, and Qatar could well be a bit of a redemption moment after what has been a couple of poorer races for the Dutchman. 7th, 5th, and then 4th. He was off the podium for the last 3. Can he right them wrong, from the last couple of races and turn it back onto the podium and maybe even the top step, which is what all of these drivers are going for and shooting their shots for. Through turn 15 already, it's been a quick lap for Bjorn Quint. It's going to be a lap that finishes very, very soon as he goes through the final corner, really riding that apex curb actually. One of the only drivers I've seen do that to that extent. Will it help or hinder? It's going to help him by all accounts, as it's a 1:21.731 So, Race Brower tops our timing sheets as it stands. George, the next of the couple of drivers, are yet to set a lap to cross the line then. So, with his teammate in tow behind him, not too close to get dirty air through here though. It looks to me like George Gamer is the next man to try and topple Race Brower's lead at the top of the timing sheets. Very close to an invalidation there. MJB with a 121.4. So he beats him then. The two Dutch friends, very good friends, those two, both now leading our timing sheets. George Gamer only good enough for 6th then, so not able to harness the pace we're coming to expect of him. Reg, his teammate, with an invalidation on that previous lap then, so is yet to set a lap even now as we're heading to the last 10 minutes of this Grand Prix qualifying session. Let's check the Twitch chat and see what's going on. Alana's here. Just told me on Discord. What's told me on Discord? Alana, I did know that. I do apologise. I don't even remember calling you a he. I do apologise. Yeah, you've been here for a couple of not a couple of seasons, but you've been here since the start of this season for sure, I remember. So I do apologise for that, Alana. First ever race on Qatar. Well, at the moment, you're P12 at a P14, so that's, you know, you're not dead last. That's Reggie at the moment. He wanted a shout out, but I'm waiting for the right time. Actually, would be a good time now, so this man, right on board with now, as he's grabbing a tow from his teammate, whilst he's going to set his push lap, I'm going to give him a little shout out. He did well in his mocks. No, I'm not. He's making a mockery of that now. He did well in his mock exams at school today. Well, he's had them previously. He got his results back today. Did very, very well. So, round of applause for Reggie. Really good to see. Obviously, being able to juggle the absolute job that is sim racing with schoolwork. So, you know, hats off to him. Let's hope that he can do a little bit better in this race. But if not, we can't hold him against him. So, Alex P2. So that, whilst I've been yattering on about, is now between between MJB and Race Pro then, P1 and 3. But Alex is in between. Thank you very much, Bjorn. I will absolutely enjoy doing these comms. I love being in CLR. I do absolutely love this league. I started commentating back in Season 2 it was. I was there or thereabouts for a bit. Now I am back for the old race, so any opportunity I get, I absolutely drop what I'm doing to be here. So really, really good to see everybody reacting well to that. Speaking of reacting well, that Alpine looks to be on a flying lap at the hands of the Great Dane. So let's watch on board with Genzi. He is only just, and I mean only just, by the skin of his teeth up in Sector 1. I think that was 7,000ths of a second there. So unless he can drag some time out this middle sector and then final sector respectively, doesn't look to me like he's going to improve. That's a very early entry on the hairpin there. Really nice. So maybe Jens is trying a different approach there, and he is up on Sector 2. Appy has joined, so we have got 15 drivers for the Grand Prix at least. Very, very wide. That is going to be an invalidation, so Jens not going to be able to get that. Is Max going to get any sort of slipstream from his teammate then? Up towards what is the final corner. Really aggressive from Max, running over that apex curb, similar to Race Brower, so maybe it's a Dutch thing. Up to the line. P8 then, so really good teamwork by the Alpine boys. So really, really nice to see. Both members of my FIA, so, you know, cheering them on silently from the sidelines. Nah, I'm cheering you all on equally, don't worry. But if Jens doesn't win, then there will be words. Either way then, in the pit still is Alana, Chronix and Reg. All three, well obviously Chronix with his Quali ban from last week. P did Race Brower at Spain, but he's taken his quali ban with respect and with grace, which is all you can ask for, and will hopefully be looking to do something from P30 in the back of the grid come race time. Excuse me. Who is on a fly then? Is Baba pushing? Yes, he is. Looks to me he's actually just about up in Sector 1, so the McLaren hoping for a better end to this lap. Flying through turn 5. No, he isn't. I'm an absolute melon. Turn 8 then into 9. Flying is that McLaren in every sense of the word. Still love them Google Chrome wheels. I don't know what it is about them on that McLaren, but it has absolutely grown on me, and I just love seeing the papaya flying around. And that's a purple in Sector 2 then. So Baba is not just hanging about and letting us admire his car. He is absolutely putting his foot to the floor, pedal to the metal, looking to try and snatch away something from those top runners at the front of this field. Can Baba do just that then? Up to the line. DRS, ERS both going for it. P3, so Baba is absolutely loving life then on the second row. Chronix, thank you for saying you're enjoying the stream, buddy. Looking forward to seeing what you can do in the race. But Baba is taking Quali by storm as he's in between Alex and Race Brower. That is a lovely sandwich to be in. So Baba putting himself amongst greats. Very, very nice to see. 21 in the V-carb, not pushing as it stands. Is the Aston Martin of Kiri. Kiri pushing? Yes, he is then. Through the right-hander, really quick kink there into what is the hairpin before, pretty much the calm before the storm of those 3 right-handers, and then into that fast left. So now as we enter turn 12, purple in Sector 2 as well. So the Aston trying to replicate what Baba did, maybe even go 1 better or 2 better than Baba, but that invalidation, he just went too aggressive over the apex of the first corner. Which absolutely let him drift out wide and understeer off the track limits in the next one then. So unlucky from the Aston. Lots of drivers still yet to be pushing then. So I think 21 is now starting to push. Need to see his sector times. We will see what his Sector 1 split is. No, we won't, because he has invalidated. So lots of drivers trying to push the limits, I think. MJB's not going out again, so he thinks that 2/10 gap to Alex is more than enough. So MJB playing the waiting game, trying maybe to save a fresh set of tyres for this Grand Prix. Could well be a smart move for a man that we know has a lot of pace this season. Is it 7 consecutive poles? I know we've had a lot. Might not be 7 consecutive poles in Thursday tier, but I think it well could be. This is 4th one at Belgium. Don't know who got pole. Yeah, this is 5th one. If he gets it again today, it'll be his 6th one. He doesn't want to be on pole, says MJB. Every time he is, he loses the win. Well, stop being so fast in Quali then. Let someone else have a go. But 2/10 is the gap for Alex to try. Well, not even just Alex. You know, it's opened up to the rest of the field. Baba's going to stay out on these tyres, so he obviously doesn't think he can get in and out again. Race Brower, I'm sure we'll see come out. Captain in the second McLaren, we're wanting to be improving. Obviously, goes without saying, Captain, or Hobnob, sorry, is second in the championship. 1 point behind MJB then, so you know it's only qualifying, but pole in this race being potentially between the 2 championship contenders is really, really huge at the midpoint of this season. So yeah, Captain, or Hobnob, sorry, knows the extent of this race, and I'm sure it's not going to be wasted on his counterpart in the Aston either. So yeah, it's going to be really exciting. There's another variable to think about though. You've still got these 3 in between them. But also the likes of Jens, George, To be fair, I do believe that anyone could still pole at any time. I've been shocked too many times in CLR with late pole grabs to be able to definitively say who's going to get it at what point. So MJB's retired. We knew that was coming. He knows he's not going out then. So let's try and watch someone on the final push lap. Baba's invalidated, so P3 is the maximum for him. I know both Williams are going for it. Yellow flag. It's one of the Alpines then. Jen's letting people through, so let's try and watch someone. Let's make sure that all of the drivers that are pushing are going to get the best screen time that we can see. Raceborough about to start his lap time now then, so interesting to see where he ends up. One of the Williams we're focusing on then is George, reigning champion for the last 3 years in this tier. At the moment down in P8, so it's a long stretch away from the heights he's reached before, but can he try and bring back some glory today? Maybe kickstart a second half of the season title charge. There goes the checkered flag then, that drops, so it means that those on a lap now can finish that lap time for the final hurrah. Last roll of the dice, George up to the line, his teammate behind him in tow to set what will be his only lap time. George P2, Reg P9. That's great for one of the Williams. Not so good for the second. But George P2 then. Raceborough has bottled his lap time then. He's got gravel on his tyres. P5 maximum for Raceborough. Up next then to look at. Alex is pushing. He's absolutely throwing it into the corner then. The second Aston up across the line. P7 for Kiri Kiri. Really nice to see then the Aston, the Haas even, flying across the last corner and then down the straight. P1 for Alex's provisional pole. Can anybody do something about it? Can Hobnob snatch it back from him? It's Haas versus McLaren, and that's how it will stay. It's the Haas of DRL Alex who has stolen pole position right at the depth. He breaks MJB's curse. Well, potentially breaks his curse, breaks his record at least. Captain in P2. That is huge for the championship, being one place above. Baba P5, Jens P6. Who else has yet to set a lap? Raceborough won't get another stab at it. And that is going to be a very short and snappy end to what has been a great qualifying session here in Qatar then. So 14 drivers at the start of this quali session, 15 as we get into the Grand Prix. Lovely stuff from everyone today. Alex, fair play to you for stealing pole away at the death. Hobnob, great lap there to beat MJB as well. That was crucial for not just this race, but also potentially looking forwards. And like MJB said in the WhatsApp, like MJB said earlier on, you want to get into T1 first. That is the biggest overtaking opportunity, and even that's difficult. It's fairly similar to Zandvoort's first corner. Zandvoort's a bit tighter, this one's a bit more open, so you could argue it's better for battling. But yeah, 1.5 gap, so it shows that it's really close. Half a second though back down to Raceborough in 7th. We know that wasn't going to be his fastest lap achievable then. Let's look in the Twitch chat before the race then. Alana says she can only go up from here. Well, you know, that's one way to put it. You know, you've got to put a positive spin on life, so fair play to you. You never know, Alana, you could end up on the podium, so can't count yourself out. Such a tight field, says Jens. Yes, it is. Very much so. We do have a formation lap, don't we? It is on, yes. It's an immersive one, so all of you guys will be on the formation lap. I need to take my FIA cap off and try and not catch anybody out on any time during this race, so yeah. I'm as commentator mode today, not FIA then. I could actually do a quick little 30 seconds ad then. I'm going to do that now while we wait. Just for, I could probably have done a 1 minute ad there. I do apologise. I will if there's a safety car. That's another thing to think about though, because it's such an open track and there's so much runoff and even gravel traps around here. It's hard for a safety car to come out with, obviously the whole point of a safety car really is either if there's debris on track, which the game doesn't always simulate very well, or if there's a car in a dangerous position, and if the game deems that a dangerous position enough for a safety car, then I would be surprised around here. So it could well be an out-and-out sprint to the finish, obviously with a bit of strategy in play. One stop, usually mediums to hards, isn't it, around Qatar? Do correct me in chat if I am wrong. I haven't actually played this game as a driver in F1, so... But yeah, either way, I can't wait for this race. Whilst Quali... well, you never know. If 125 come back, that could happen, Jen. So it would be like Valentine. VCs would be beautiful. Each race, they would be absolutely insane. So you never know. 10 viewers in chat. Lovely to see you all. Really, really nice work from you all for just getting in and getting involved in this stream. We are going to be getting underway shortly for the race. It was a bit of... Oh, there's a formation lap. I do forget. In the other leagues I commentate in, no formation lap, so I have to get ready. Chronix has been DSQ'd. Unsure why that is. Either way. 15 drivers on the grid then, as we said. Obviously, Appy joining later on. Alex leading us all away, as he will at the start of this race. This is going to be a cracker. I feel like, as Jen said in chat, it's such a tight field in Quali. I do think we're going to be closely knit bunch for the whole of this race. And I hope so, because although it's a track more known for its DRS train and DRS swapping, I still feel like that is better than no action at all and someone running away with it. And I don't think for a second the likes of Hobnob, MJB, and even George are going to let Alex get away from it without at least putting up a little bit of a fight. Alex, we know though, when he gets going, doesn't even have to break a sweat, but he is prone to the odd mistake. Not the odd bottle, that would be harsh, but the odd mistake that could well come back to bite him. So, as we going through turns 14 and then in towards 15 for the final time before we get going at full green flag racing speeds. You see all of the drivers weaving their way, trying to get that last bit of heat into their tyres, trying to get the carcass temps up all the way to the maximum to just get as much of a start, much of an advantage off the start, off the launch as possible. Humph and then Appy. Appy's quite far away from the pack, so too is the Mercedes, so opting to go for as long and late as possible to try and get that heat towards the start then. So it's a hard tyre sandwich as Alex and Appy first and 15th, both on hards with mediums all the way through. So Alex will be vulnerable at the start of this Grand Prix. So as we're waiting for them to form up at the back, we are going to get underway here then in Qatar. Under the lights, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 lights, 5. And it's lights out and away we go here in Qatar. Then Alex gets away poorly. MJB already going for a move with 3 wides at the start of this Qatari Grand Prix. Oh, it's so close between the front 3. Bit of contact between MJB and Alex then. Getting a slight tank slapper. Through goes Baba. Bit of an incident there. Alex has been pushed wide to the wayside then. He's been thrown all the way back to the back of the grid. George sticking it out in 4th. This pack is so close. Down the inside of turns 5 and 6 goes Humph, but Rico Kiri hiring his way through this then, through the inside of him, down through the what will become the outside of the hairpin, then down the inside goes Kiri. All of these drivers fighting and scrapping tooth and nail over the same piece of tarmac. It's so close now. You want to get your early track position finished by the end of lap 1. You want to settle into that rhythm, but when everyone around you's losing their heads, you've got to keep yours. And Alex has flown his way all the way back towards the back of the field. I'm unsure what caused that. I saw the original bit of contact between him and MJB, but I didn't think that was going to be that substantial. But as everyone now kind of settling in at the end of lap 1 of 29. What a start that was. If that's the sign of what's to come in this Grand Prix, then we are in for a treat. But now as we look towards the front of the field, it's going to be a straight battle between Hobnob and MJB, our 2 championship leaders, separated by a point. Currently on track, separated by 0.4 of a second. So it's so close all the way. Every single angle you look at it, it's close between these 2 protagonists. So it's going to be a really good race to watch from a neutral perspective. You may have your opinions on who you think will win, but it's a case of letting them have it their own way and letting them scrap and getting involved. Is the teammate behind of Babu's losing out slightly to the front 2. Under pressure maybe from George sooner rather than later, who himself has pulled away slightly from Racebrower. Jens looking to try and carve his way up through the field now. Up behind Racebrower, fairly close. You can see the garish green, but I think that's kind of telling for everyone. I think you can see that from a mile away. With how striking that livery is. It's even more striking, you could argue, this year. So that'll be something to look out for. Jens, though, really aggressive on the steering wheel. That's a driving style that we've seen from him for a lot of seasons. I think that's, to be fair, just the way he's always driven. Suits him on this game for sure. George, the fastest man then. So look at that, slipstream already to the inside goes our reigning champ. To the inside, he doesn't hang about or play any games, and that's a swap between the front 2 and also the back 3rd and 4th then, sorry. Alex, though, trying to make a bit of a recovery drive all the way up to P11, but Reg is not letting him have it all too easy. Neither is 21, trying to defend ever so slightly through turn 5 and then 6, but Alex really setting up each single corner to try and make a move. To the inside he goes. He says it's not a place to overtake, but we are seeing a very nice overtake there from the Haas driver. As we watch on board with him on the shoulder cam, you can now see he's not looking behind him whatsoever. He's going for the next car. He's picking them off one by one. Max is his next target, and will he be his next victim? As Max himself trying to chase down Humph, who himself trying to chase down that mid-pack. So really interesting. Lots of different angles to look at this race. Lots of different battles starting to come about. Baba behind, Racebrower though in 5th, trying to fight his way up through the field. And look at the exit, he's got there, lovely bit of traction on the throttle application. DRS activated, will it be enough? He's going to burn. Can he go to the inside of the McLaren, or is he going to hold back for another lap? Not going to make the move there is Racebrower. But look how close George is getting up towards the front 2. MJB, Hobnob, so focused on each other, may well end up letting George in. And you know, if you watch CLR, or if you've even watched any other league that George races in, you know that if George is given even a sniff, he will absolutely pull your pants down and make sure that you are ruining your mistakes. So as we watch on board with Babo, who's getting pretty much good front row seats here, you'd pay a lot of money to get these. Reg, though, whilst one Williams is looking to set his sights on greatness today, the other, the 3 seconds slapped onto him. Unlike his mock results, he's got a 3 today. So, yeah, not what he would have wanted so early on in this race, but it doesn't spell danger too much yet. He's still got plenty of time to drag out a gap. MJB with a slight tap of the diffuser of Hobnob, maybe just showing a bit of signs of frustration already, as his teammate also joins the 3 second gang. That was a very wide moment there, and Racebrower is trying to take up that mistake to the inside of the final corner. Through goes the Sauber, and now that is just defining exactly what I meant by if you give any of these drivers towards the front a sniff, they are going to take it. So too then is MJB trying to make a by-the-book overtake to the inside and through. And as we watch them exit turn 1s and 2, they are flying then in formation. One by one, it looks fairly simple and easy. But when you're flying down towards the end of the straight at 210 miles an hour, trying to make any sort of overtake is very, very difficult. So these guys making it look so easy once again. Look at this though, Race Brower just opening up the steering wheel, just trying to take those different lines to try and find any sort of clean air to try and drive into and get past those cars ahead. He's really sniffing up that slipstream given to him by those ahead of him, so he is absolutely going to try and hang on to the back of these guys for as long as possible to put himself in with a shout at the win. So close, all of the top 7 within a second of each other then, so you could argue that's the DRS train all the way back then. Really good to see how close these guys are already still in this Grand Prix. 5 laps in and we've still got a massive DRS train without the help of a safety car then. So as we look towards the back of the field, Alana in her first race here around the Qatar Grand Prix circuit. Down in P15 as it stands, but on those hard tyres may well get a bit of a strategic boost later on, so definitely watch this space. But you know, you got to say hats off to her, still doing a league race for the first time around a track, so it's never easy for anyone, so well done to you for joining us today. Still good to have you with us, and obviously, oh excuse me, here's MJB trying to make a move as I try not to choke on my words into turn 7. They're still side by side. Who's going to exit turn 8 first? Round the outside goes the Aston of MJB. The Dutchman has managed to keep that move, and Hobnob has been caught napping. I don't think he was expecting a move of any sort through there. And MJB has not just got the move done, he has flown ahead by 0.4 of a second, so that is a very thorough overtake there. It was calm and collected, but very much calculated, as MJB has made that move stick. Very nice job. George and Raceborough with P3 and P4. Both drivers have been known already in this Grand Prix to make moves into gaps that most wouldn't. So it's going to be a bit of a battle of who can break the latest, who will be the bravest, as they are all marauding towards the Aston Martin ahead. To the outside, both of them go. George stuck in the middle slightly. MJB trying to get away from them both. That was very nearly contact between P2 and P3 then. Just that little bit of understeer causing contact. This time it's George understeering into the Aston Martin, and Racebrower is getting a mouthful of debris. He's going to have to be tearing off his visor many times there. It's like a rally stage with the amount that's getting kicked up ahead of us, but either way, Racebrower hanging on to the back of him really nicely, and he's just biding his time, is the Dutchman. The Silver Fox, he's tactical, he's knowledgeable when it comes to racing. He knows what he needs to do and when exactly he needs to do it. So just you wait. I'm sure we're going to see the Silver Fox make a move for the podium at some point in this Grand Prix. Still plenty of laps to go here in Qatar then. Let's try and watch on board with someone we haven't seen much of yet in this Grand Prix. Reg chasing down 21 in the V-carb then, looking to be taking chunks out of his advantage through, and there's Reg again for a 6 seconds of penalty, so it's all going wrong for the Williams here towards the back of the field. So unlucky for him at the moment, but 21, apart from looking behind, he's now looking well and truly ahead as he's sizing up a move on the Alpine to the inside or the outside. He goes for the former, and he's made the move stick well before the braking zone. Fairly simple overtake there. This is how close it's getting towards the front, all fighting and squeezing each other over the same piece of tarmac, which is really allowing the likes of Jens, Kiri, and also DRO Alex, who's still on those hard tyres. Here comes Alex to the inside. Kiri made that slight mistake, went deep into the corner, and Alex says thank you very much, Sonny Jim, and he's up into P7. But as I was just singing his praises, the strategy may well play into his favour now, as he's on those hard still now, well within this battle. He's sinking his teeth into him. He's absolutely picking them off one by one, and he can go a lot later than those around him, whilst getting that medium advantage come later on in the stint then. So really good race. I still think this is Alex's to lose potentially, although the pace at the front with the likes of George, Captain, MJB, and also Racebro are maybe just going to be too much for Alex to fight against. But, you know, time will tell. Once again, lots of time left for something to happen, and Alex is trying to make something happen now. He wants fireworks already on lap 9 of 29 to the inside of not 1 but potentially 2. That was a very late move ahead there. That could be contact. It's a lot of contact at the front. George and Racebro, they've tagged each other, managed to keep on the track, but that was a very nearly airplane crash between those two. Really, really close, and through goes Alex now, making a move on the Sauber through turn 5. This is all getting a bit scrappy now, boys. I think everyone, there's a slight bit of a late move by the Aston Martin of MJB, which I think kind of Constantinaed everybody up and made them all go slightly doolally. But they've all managed to keep it on the straight and narrow, so there's something to be said for that. But Hobnob and MJB now somehow back at the front of the pack, and trying to desperately run away from those whilst they are losing their heads. George, though, managing to escape unscathed with that little tussle with Racebrower. Not sure what happened there. It looked to me like a fairly standard understeer into the other driver on the outside, which happens so often around here. So hard to run side by side regardless of what track you're in, let alone around a track that generates so much dirty air like Qatar. But either way then, we are going to set our sights on this home straight for the 10th time in this Grand Prix. Through goes MJB for the lead. George opting to stay behind. Is Alex going to do the same? Yes, he is. A lot better behaved from all of these boys then. Trying to stay a bit more disciplined. George saying that, trying to cut his way past Hobnob. I think he almost felt he was being held up there with the absolute overspeed that he had on the McLaren. Really, really good battling all the way through this race so far. I don't want it to stop at any point in this session. Both Humph and 21 coming into the box for the mediums, hard tyres then, sorry, chucking off their old mediums. Max has also done the same. So it is a case now if they will go to the end on those hard tyres. Will we see a couple of the other medium runners do the same? Racebro is known for his good strategy calls in terms of knowing tracks like the back of his hand, so he's definitely a guy to watch out for. Although he is at the back of this train, you can't count him out when it comes to strategy, so you know, he's a guy that doesn't always like to play by the book. He likes to make up things on the spot, the spontaneity that we have all come to love. That's a couple of warnings then, and that's Alex on the 3 seconds of time penalties now then. So that could really throw a spanner into the works. In comes George into the box. Jens as well, so too does Kiri. Racebrower, Alex, Baba, Captain and MJB all staying out there side by side for first and second, and also third and fourth. Switchback potential for Baba. Is he going to go for it? No, he's not. So it's a fairly orthodox overtake for both Alex and Hobnob. But there's still so many overtakes being made on lap 11. I absolutely love it here. Really, really good to see. Lots of drivers now coming out the box. Whereabouts will they come out? Evening, Callum. How you doing, buddy? Keeping your seat warm for you this week. Jens 1.4 behind George then, so that you could almost say just kind of writes him out with a runny then. He was at the back of the pack, was Jens, of this massive train, but I think with the strategy playing out like that, maybe counting himself out of the race win battle as it stands. But you know, still lots of time left. Been a great race, was a great qualifying session as well. Definitely one to watch back on YouTube or Twitch later on, or other streaming providers. I'm joking, we only race on them too. But either way then, as we turn our attentions from chat to the pit lane, both Racebrower, Baba, MJB have all gone into the box. There's a safety car potential as Alana's off at the back. But Mylander says no thank you, not today. He's checked his watch and said no. He's obviously on the phone at the moment to his nan because he's not coming out for love nor money. But either way, we look to the front of the field, first and second. It's now Alex and Hobnob. who are trying desperately to run away and try and take these tyres that 1 lap extra. Although Alex, on the hard tyres, he's on the opposite strategy to them all. So he is absolutely laughing when it comes to it. He wants to still run away now. He wants to utilise the hard tyres and the pace they still have left in them. But now it is also a good indicator for him to see that those around him can only seem to be doing 10 or even 11 laps at a push on the mediums. But that was a snap from Alex then, so maybe showing a bit of a sign of maybe pushing, but also a sign of discomfort on those tyres. So watch this space. George Gamer just sizing up a move potentially on MJB. Not sure if he'll get the move done anytime soon. Through this middle sector, it's easier said than done. But he is really taking chunks out of the deficit that once was. George obviously 1 lap older tyres than MJB. The overcut maybe working wonders in terms of having the pace early on in the stint. Through turns 14 now. He will probably get MJB down the main straight. So time will tell. Obviously Alex stays out. Captain or Hobnob into the box then, Reg as well. But intriguing to see where Hobnob will come out. Both Red Bulls staying out. But this is going to be the fight for the win then. MJB versus George versus Hobnob. Both of those two drivers aforementioned are going to get through. But Hobnob is still right up behind them. And crucially, he has a 2 lap advantage on George. A 1 lap advantage on MJB. So currently, Hobnob looks to me like the man to beat in terms of this medium runners 2 hards for the second part of the race. Obviously, Alex is an uncontrollable variable to try and factor in with him being on the opposite strategy. So, yeah, let's just say as we head on to and through lap 13 now, it is not going to be a boring one come the second stint. Zyatin couldn't make it in the end. I think there was a lot of network issues, me included, before the race. But either way, we are still cooking on gas. Lap 13 to 29. As we are trying to wait and see, then in comes one of the 2 Red Bulls. George looking to try and chase down the other, but at this moment, while he's doing that, he is going to get doubly overtaken by not just MJB, but Hobnob as well for good measure. So that Red Bull is going to get absolutely swarmed soon. Appy is going to be shaking in his boots. Lets through MJB without too much of a fight. He's going to probably let go the next 2, but at the moment this is going to get really tetchy through the right-handers then. That could have been very, very dangerous through turn 5 and 6. He's obviously well within his rights to stay through. He's not being lapped, but on 13-lap old hards compared to the fresher hards, he is always going to be vulnerable there. And wow, that was very ballsy from George and Captain, both risking their races trying to overtake Appy then, just to stay within that magical DRS 1 second mark to MJB then. So really exciting stuff. It's going to shape up towards the end to be a very good race. That's weird to me. We still have pretty much 15 laps left in this Grand Prix now, and Alex is in the box going onto medium tyres, which no one else has taken past lap 12. So Alex is going to have to take him to lap 15 laps of this now, whilst also going to be coming out behind all of those front runners. So as Jens is the man leading ahead, this is going to get tight. Who's going to come out there? Oh, it's going to be very close. Nearly contact between Alex and Jens. He's managed to come out in P5 then. So Baba won't be very happy with that. He'll be shaking his head in the cockpit, as he would have wanted to get ahead of Alex then, who's already, as he's just come out of the pits, looking to tear apart the Alpine and get past him. This is a man on a mission, and he's gonna not be stopped, I'm sure of it, as he's looking to try and duck his way past the Alpine of Jens. The Great Dane, though, going to try and defend with everything he's got. I'm sure of that. Trying to show off to me in comms today, I'm sure. But as we go through the right-hander, then straight into the left. Bit of contact, almost pushing him through the corner there was Alex. He's just showing those early signs of frustration as he wants to get past the Alpine. Going to be hard for him to do it here through the triple right-hander. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get it done just yet. Alana with a 3 seconds, and then Kiri as well. Through turn 15, Jens absolutely flying through the middle part of that. But on exit, comes back, does Alex. Down the main straight then, we are going to probably see an overtake now. DRS, ERS burning, to the inside goes Alex. It's the end of this short-lived battle. Jens down to P5, Alex up to P4, and looking now to try and make a move on those 3 ahead of him. MJB and George fighting so hard. George is almost just being annoying in terms of the championship. MJB won't want to come out of Qatar losing his lead, albeit only being a 1-point lead as it stands. But Captain will be absolutely chuffed if he can not just gain on them, the cars around him, but also have George in between them to try and split up the points that are scored. So as it stands, this race is going very nicely for Hobnob in P1. George in P2 will be very happy, I'm sure. MJB says Qatar is not the track he's most comfortable at, but either way, we'll be very happy to see. Alex P4 though is right up the chuff of the Aston, so still plenty of time left, but Alex goes wide. That nearly, I'm not sure if he got off the throttle enough for that to not be a penalty or warning, sorry. So that could mean he is 1 or 2 away from getting even another 3 seconds then, whilst those around him don't even have 1. Hobnob on the fastest lap then, so he's on a mission as well. George going to get overtaken by 2 drivers. Is Alex going to go for it again? No, he's not. Going to bide his time on the Aston, but he's got to make a move sooner rather than later, because he doesn't want to get stuck behind whilst burning those tyres, which will die off probably around the lap 11 mark, and he's got to try and somehow take these to lap 15 laps without losing out to everyone. Alana then, as the leaders come round, spinning about at the moment, going slow still as they enter yellow flag sector. Alana is going to get lapped by the front runners as we go through this middle sector. I'm sure by the end of the lap we will see them get past her. The gaps are starting to not open up too much, but in terms of how close they have been all race long, these are really big. Max on hump, 0.5 of a second, even then behind him as well. Very close, 4:21. Chasing down the Alpine. Yellow flag, that's Alana, I think, maybe letting people go. Something I do want to see then, so let's watch as they all go charging down the main straight on lap 18. To the inside goes MJB. Is Alex going to go for a move as well? It would be late if he did. He's not going to. He's going to just go wide just to size up a move. Maybe into this next corner. Not quite. As they go out of turn 3. Turn 3 now, sorry. Through turn 4, then 5. Not a lot going on at this part of the Grand Prix. Lots of drivers just still trying to find their place in this second stint. Lap 18 of 29. So we are getting closer and closer to the end of the Grand Prix. Everyone is on their second stint of tyres. So it's going to be almost a sprint to the end, if you like, with a couple of different variables mixed in. So this is going to get exciting. And I'm sure that the action's going to heat up all the way to the end of this Grand Prix, but I'd sure would like to see some moves being made soon just to keep us entertained. Moves being made at the front then. It's going to be the Alex in P1. Captain not fighting him too hard there. Nearly went for the switchback, but thought better of it. It's so hard to keep all the way through turn 1 side by side and then exit turn 2 as well. So probably the smarter of the moves by the McLaren. That's wide for MJB then, so that's definitely a warning. But the fact he stayed with his foot planted almost meant he kind of took the warning, so I'm sure he hasn't got any others in this Grand Prix then. Through the right-hander then, through the left. These drivers all just trying to steer their way through with as least steering angle as possible, just not to scrub off any sort of remaining tyre life left. It's all going to come down to not just pace, but also tyre management come the end of this Grand Prix. Whose hard tyres are going to have the most life at the end, as well as Alex's mediums, which I'm sure will be screaming out by those last few laps then, as he leads the pack away round the final corner on lap 19 to get us kick-started into the 20s. Gonna pull to the inside then, trying to break the toe, something we haven't seen a lot of drivers do at all in this Grand Prix. Does kind of throw a bit of a decision Hobnob's way, but that is a decision made as he's absolutely thrown it up the inside. Alex still hanging about the outside, bit of contact between them, really close then, so that did not confuse anyone, but that almost just offered up a different solution. But Hobnob not taking that different route. He absolutely wanted that inside line. He took every single liberty to try and get it. MJB though on Alex, just trying to put a bit of doubt in his mind, as he is just trying to stick his nose where it shouldn't be, and backing out just to put that little bit of pressure on those cars ahead, because if they start to move a bit unorthodoxly just because they're thinking about you behind rather than what they're doing, then that is where things get very touchy. As we go through the first of the triple right-handers, then to the second, really quick complex, even still so close together and so tightly knitted, as they're still fighting through the dirty air. Really good battles we've seen all race long, and this is a battle then between these two. Humph versus the big boss himself. Maxia versus Humph. Humph, as we said earlier on, Friday tier, loving life at the top, but at the moment has not been a Thursday tier to remember for the Mercedes driver. He's put all his eggs in one basket, but he's still fighting hard, and he's up towards now, as he heads towards turn 1's braking zone, he's up into P8. One Alpine has been dispatched. A long way away from the second is Humph then. Big battle going on here. That's still the front runners, isn't it? So Jens and Baba have now been let back into this front runners pack. So you can never count anyone out in this Grand Prix, and it looks to me like Jens and Baba have absolutely taken that for gospel, as they are sitting behind them, just patiently waiting. They're letting the drivers ahead almost drag them along, whilst they can conserve tyres, conserve fuel, conserve energy, and just wait to use it right at the end when those around them will be burning very much. Going to be really exciting is the end of this Grand Prix, as we are getting ever closer. It's probably the light at the end of the tunnel for a couple of these drivers, especially those at the front who just are so close to the race win, but that could well spell trouble for Alex. That is 6 seconds of penalties now. Whilst I'm sure he'll try to get some of those removed, it probably will be to no avail, as Alex, P3 as it stands on track, with the 6 seconds of penalties, will move all the way back down to P7 now. So that would be very torrid of an occasion for the British driver, who will be very upset with that. I mean, he's definitely got the pace and the strategic input to try and take the win today, but with those penalties at his disposal, it's not going to be any sort of easy. But you never know. Those around him could all crash out. It would be very impossible to happen. That's a massive tank slapper for MJB. But it still could happen. You never know. So something you also don't know is who out of these two is going to leave Qatar in front of the championship. So who at the moment would be getting it? It would be going still the way of Captain, or Hobnob, sorry. But MJB still wants to build on that 1 point lead he's currently got at the top of the standings. But being behind the McLaren, he's not going to be any sort of doing that today. With Alex behind as well, who's now almost just fighting for a bit of fun, as he knows on track he's unlikely to keep it. But now, as he's tucked up right behind the rear wing of the Aston, to the inside he goes, but the Aston also moves inside. MJB, that was a very, very silly decision there. Lucky that that wasn't a bigger crash than it was. But you've still got to pay attention to those behind without, completely ruining the chances of those ahead. So very, very close between these two. And here comes MJB then, just maybe showing that he's not happy with that move by Alex. Maybe feels as if he should have been given more space to make the overtake. But either way, MJB going to try and force an error there. Looked very, very close to making contact again. Alex jumping out the way, but not going to lose that position just yet. But MJB maybe slightly rattled by that incident, and with a tank slapper like that, getting all sorts of crossed up out of turn 7. Really, really exciting stuff then. Lap 23 of 29. The laps are now just counting down towards the finishing line for that final time. The checkered flag nowhere near getting ready just yet, but it won't be too long in the grand scheme of things. It's a quick track, is Qatar. We've seen that as these 23 laps have flown by, but something that has remained the same all the way through is that people at the front of the pack still scrapping so hard, leaving absolutely no inches on the track for error. And to the inside goes not one, but two drivers of Hobnob then. So to the inside is a double overtake attempt. MJB pulls back across. Hobnob, though, you've got to hand it to him, was well within his rights to make that. Alex now still alongside. Lots of switching and changing of positions between these front three. Really, really good racing. Hard but fair by all of them. Less contact made than previous overtake attempts, so really nice to see. But look how close they are. They're going to start hitting those stages of desperation when the moves need to be made. And these could be crucial moves and crucial laps for the championship come the end of the season. And both drivers ahead of this guy we're running on board with now know that more than anybody. Hobnob, MJB locked in a championship fight as it stands, with George and other drivers about, still well within their rights to say they're in the fight. But these two ahead know that today is their chance to try and keep running away with it. Alex wide again, but these two ahead is the focal point for the race. I don't see anyone other than those two winning it today, but I still could very well stand corrected. George Gamer still waiting in the wings behind, so too is Jens, but it's those two in front who look the most likely. To the inside goes one, to the inside goes two, and it's MJB under pressure once again by Alex. No contact made this time, but can MJB get the throttle down quickly to try and make the move? He's not able to do so now, but as he exits turn 2 and then through the kink of 3, it's going to get oh so close between them. And as we're on to lap 25 of 29, the battles are raging ever fiercer. I'm sure we're going to see some overtakes before the end of the race. We're going to see lots of attempts, lots of moves, hopefully no crashes, but we want to see the odd wheel bang. We want to see drivers really getting stuck into each other, trying absolutely everything, throwing absolutely every part of their car just to get any sort of advantage they can. This is going to get so good towards the end of this. The closing stages of the Grand Prix now we are heading into. Lap 25 of 29. We're closing up to lap 26, so every single time we are getting ever closer to the next lap, to the next overtaking opportunity. Race Brower down in P12. It's been a race to forget for the Dutchman. Not gone his way has today whatsoever. Even Quali, with that slight mistake in Quali towards his final lap, then was definitely a bit of a foreshadowing for the weekend he would have. Alex P2, obviously on track, isn't too much of a threat, so Hobnob is probably going to end up trying to use him as a bit of a rear gunner to try and hold off MJB. Might well be the strategy, actually, because I think a lot of times MJB has almost just discredited Alex completely and wanted to get ahead of him, but maybe Hobnob is almost, you know, acknowledging him and trying to use him and work with him to try and keep that Dutchman behind him. George Gamer P4, the Briton hasn't really threatened in this second stint. The first stint he was well within that battle. He was really getting stuck in, but yeah, this second stint hasn't been too aggressive from the Mad Hatter. I'm sure, though, as we are going to get closer to the end, he is going to get closer to those ahead of him. And you know, when his battery's saving, his tyres are getting saved and nursed to the end. You can never count out the Mad Hatter. Alex with a 9 seconds, you can almost count him out completely. But yeah, you can't count out the Mad Hatter in the Williams right until that final corner of the final lap then. And as we're heading now, Alex into the box, surely going to either retire or get those softs on to try and take the fastest lap point. That releases George then. Alex has retired, so that's going to be him well without the rights then. So it is a straight fight between this top four then. On-track battles. Jens looking on for a really, really good position come the end of this Grand Prix. Obviously, could actually make any sort of advantage gain. And look at that, they're side by side. MJB and Hobnob have come together then. Slight bit of contact between the two. George getting tangled up alongside him as well. MJB maybe showing signs of desperation there. He can see this race maybe falling away from him. His chance at leading the championship come the end of this racing week maybe starting to dwindle. He can see it all in his head, and he's just trying to keep that move and keep that dream alive. And now Hobnob under threat once again by the man in the green machine. This is getting really, really good up towards the finishing time of this Grand Prix session. It's going to be a great end to round 11, a great start to the second half of the season, if you like. It's going to be really, really exciting. George P3, Jens P4, Baba even P5, but with those penalties, can't really put him in the conversation. I'm still rooting for Jens in P4. He looks to me like maybe in the prime position for any sort of incident ahead. But MJB to the inside of the McLaren. The Aston versus the McLaren. They're still side by side. Is Hobnob going to keep the nose in? No, he's not. Not through turn 2. But maybe as MJB starts to flash, we could see an overtake being made sooner rather than later. Is Jens even going to go for a move at some point? He's not really made any sort of overtake, like towards the front of the field at least today. He's not been in the DRS train enough to swap and change. But maybe, just maybe, he's been saving it all up for the final couple of laps, the final couple of corners perhaps as well. And we will now wait to see as we're going through the middle sector on lap 28 of 29, the penultimate lap already well underway and nearly over. So we are getting even closer now to the checkered flag. And Captain versus MJB. It's getting so good between these two. It's been a battle that's raged on all race long. And as they come through turn 15 for the second to last time in this session, it's MJB in the Aston who leads us away. This is not the prime position to be in, but Hobnob knows he is absolutely in the best position. He's got the bit between his teeth and he is about to chomp down on MJB. He's got his foot to the floor. He's burning his battery. To the outside he goes. Slight bit of defensive move by MJB there. Well within his rights. They're still side by side now as we run towards turn 2. This is a really good battle. Hobnob leading us out now through the kink of 3 and up towards turn 4. They're still going to be side by side potentially as MJB just going to try and make a move. Is there a switchback opportunity? Not quite. Jens and George behind them just getting a lovely view, just trying to see themselves if there's an opportunity for a move. But as it stands, it looks to me, look at that, Hobnob squeezing MJB all the way to the inside. The track limit's being used completely. There's contact between the front three. All of these drivers trying to fight and squabble over the same bit of track. This is going to be an almighty finish to this Grand Prix. It's lap 29 of 29. We've seen a great quali. We've seen an even better race, arguably. And it's these two who have been fighting all race long. George and Jens fighting as well for that P3. That final spot on the podium looks to be going the way of George as it stands. But it's MJB with a penalty. Jens as well with a penalty, so as it stands it's going to be Hobnob who's going to come across the line to win here in Qatar in round 11. MJB going to lose out to George, who's going to snatch P2 at the line. MJB P3, Jens P4 for a great finish for the Great Dane. And it's Baba P5. What a finish to that Grand Prix. I can hardly speak, I can hardly stand, but what a race that was. Hobnob absolutely buzzing. What a last lap attempt from MJB. Threw absolutely everything. He threw the kitchen sink at Hobnob, and Hobnob chested it down and volleyed it back at him, and he snatched that win right at the death. What a finish. What a race. I love CLR. It's been an absolute pleasure today commentating over these guys again. And as now the race finishes, we're going to see our podium runners come out onto the podium. Whew. Think I'm going to need to lie down after that. But that, driver of the day on here was George. Who am I going to give driver of the day to? I'm not sure. And as we see, it's excuse me, it's Hobnob with his cape on. Up towards the podium, the Mad Hatter P2, MJB P3. I can't give it to Jens, can I? I mean, he's stuck in there. He's stuck in there all race long. He was there or thereabout. It's difficult. You know what? It might well be boring. But I could give it to either Jens or... I'm thinking Jens or Hobnob. Hobnob just took everything that was thrown at him this race. 21 had a good race as well. P10 to P7. P13 to P8 for Humph. Race to forget for Race Brower. No, I'm going to give it to Jens. I'm going to be that guy. Jens is going to get my driver of the day for today. In a time where he actually lost out to the DRS train so many times in this race. He's just got his foot down, got his head down, and just gritted his way through. And he's managed to earn it into a P4. So, really well done from Jens. So, he's my driver of the day. But yeah, without further ado, I think that's time to call it a night. So thank you all for watching. Thank you all for putting on a show for me today under the lights here in Qatar. And yeah, I guess it's a case of till next time. I will see you then. Have a good season, boys, and I will see you when I'm back at the hands of a microphone. See you later.